Hey everybody, this is Charles from Electric Owl Works. I am broadcasting. I have no idea why I'm doing this, but just felt like it. I'm wearing my scary glasses and broadcasting live from the Gang Con of the new Electric Owl Works facility. Let me spin this camera around here. Okay, I'm going to try talking you through this as best I can and not hurt myself. This is the entryway, and we got a little spot for shoes to come off, and you come in. There's a staircase to the family area, and this is going to be a very large guest room. Probably going to put two sets of bunks in here. It's about 14 by 14. So we have a guest room here. A photo of the house, which was called Myrtle Bank. This photo is the original cabin that was built in 1947. This photo is from 1960, and it's been added on to since then. So this is kind of looking south, and that's what the place used to look like, an old cabin. Okay, so you come into the main room here. This is sort of the entry hall, big room. This is the original cabin, and what Dr. Moran did, who was the owner who bought the place in the 50s and added onto it, he actually encapsulated the original cabin that you saw in that photo. He encapsulated it, he saved a good chunk of it, and then built around it. So this is the interior of the original cabin. The ceilings probably go up 14 feet or so, and it's really cool. So this is kind of like the central core hub of the house. From here you can get to the exit. From here you get to a very large dining room area. There is a solarium outside there, which we'll get to. He had a second dining room over here, which we'll get to, but he had his kitchen right here. And we're going to be doing some renovations and getting some new appliances, but he would often entertain like parties up to 100 people with friends, relatives, dignitaries, colleagues, and so there's built-in hot plates and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're trying to maintain as much of the integrity of the property as possible, so that's our goal. And I mean, you can tell he had two dishwashers here. So he used to entertain a lot. An old-timey hot plate that still works. The original stovetop from the 1940s and 50s is in the basement. So anyway, he could serve from here. These windows open up going into a living room, and you can see the marble counter. So he could serve people from here with hors d'oeuvres and stuff, and very easily through this countertop here, he could stage food and stage things and snacks, and literally have people in the one dining room here or the bigger dining room over here. So there's that. Now, as we start heading west, there's a room that's, I believe, a room that's original to the cabin. We're calling it the Americana room. It has some really old paneling. I mean, this is typical stuff that you would see in a cabin, in a hunting lodge. So this is a smaller room. It's big enough for a full-size bed, double bed, built-in shelves. There are two closets with the old-timey latches here. So we are, this is going to be a guest room also. So, heading west, there is a pantry for the kitchen, and we're walking down the hallway, and there is a full bath here. So this is the first of 4 full baths. Everything he did in here, he spared no expense. These fixtures have been here for a while, but everything is like super high quality. Everything's real tile. So everything he did, from the architecture to the appliances to all the crafts work that were done here, were all done to extremely high standards. So this is going to be a guest bath, basically. Okay. So this was his living room. There used to be a grand piano in that corner. This room is about 27 feet by maybe 18 feet, something like that. This room we are turning into the control room. So we're looking west now, and it's nighttime out, so you're not going to be able to see outside. But through these windows, you look out onto the second of three solariums. Or actually, that's the first of three, which we'll get to. This looks outside over a creek and a little waterfall. And back to the countertop and the access to the kitchen, the hallway we just came down, and then more fun that way. But let's go this way first. Okay. This room was called the Capri room. This was one of his living rooms. The first time I walked into it, I was like, oh my God, it's Rudy Van Gelder's studio. It's like 14, 15-foot high ceilings. It is shaped, it's a 5-sided room. So it's kind of like a big home plate. And it's close to 30 feet long by about, I think, 17, 18 feet wide, something like that. It's really cool. If you listen, you might be able to hear. Outside there is a creek that goes right by the house. Right down there's a creek, and I don't have any floodlights on out there. Up this way there is a little waterfall, which you may or may not be able to hear. I have no idea. But this room's really cool. There's a spiral staircase we're taking out of here because this is going to be our live room. So again, it's like, I think about 28 feet long, 28, 30, something like that. And close to 18 feet wide with 14-foot high ceilings. So it's really cool. This is back to one of the two dining rooms that I had previously shown you. This room, you can see there's the French doors here. We're saving those French doors and probably putting something more acoustically sound in because we're going to use this dining room here for sort of an isolation room. So I think we're probably going to keep our grand piano in here, maybe toward the back, but we can have it on wheels and roll it up forward. But this room is perfect for putting a piano and organ in, and I'll still have enough room that if I want to have a drummer sitting right in this area, looking out into there, the rest of a band could be there and I can get isolation if I need it. If I have somebody, let's say, singing vocals live or scratch vocals live, they could stand in this room with the door shut and look out at the rest of the band. There's a lot of possibilities. The other thing we can do is have the whole band out here and have amplifiers in there and use this sort of as a drum closet area. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing way up there, 14, 15 feet up, is the chandelier is probably going to get moved or replaced. And I'm thinking right about here, I'm putting up a drumbrella, which is a drum umbrella, like an 8-foot wide umbrella that's packed with Roxol or rock wool. A few studios have used them in the 70s, and there's still a couple places that have them, but basically it's like an 8-foot umbrella that's insulated, and it's a movable acoustic cloud that you can raise up and down. So I'll probably just have it on pulleys, and I can either motorize it or just raise it up and down on a piece of rope. But we're thinking about an 8-foot umbrella right here. They can also be used for other things. If you have a singer who wants to sing, you can if I just have a singer in here or somebody playing acoustic guitar, like a singer-songwriter kind of situation, I can drop it down, keep some of the ambient noise out, and you can raise and lower it to tune the room to your liking. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, live room, which was the Capri room. It still is the Capri room. Going into this dining room. which are, again, pianos, organs, spillover for drum sets. And then there is a solarium here. This is facing east, and this is probably another 16, 17 by 12 foot wide room. This is like a greenhouse. This is all glass. So again, it's nighttime, you can't see outside. There's a ravine here, a waterfall, then it comes back up, woods, hills. This is really cool. We can use this for spillover recording. So we're not sure exactly what we're gonna do with it yet, but I literally have from here to the far end of the house, if I wanna set up stuff with microphones that are 50 feet away or something, I can mic things from like super far away. This room's got an interesting sound with the curved surfaces, but it's also really nice just for morning breakfast, so coffee and things like that. So it's probably going to be a mixed use room. A lot of the rooms are going to be mixed use rooms with like 2 dedicated live rooms, and everything else is going to have tie lines in it. So this is back into the main dining room through another set of French doors. And let me get this closed because I've got the heat off now. Bear with me. All right, so back through the Capri room. And back through the old living room, which is going to be our live room. Now we're heading, get my bearings here, heading south. So there's 2 French doors here, which we're going to have to get creative with acoustically for the control room. There is a room here that goes out to yet another solarium. This room's kind of has that old cabin feel to it. It's got the old paneling and all that stuff. I've already brought a couple instruments I've put on the wall. This room I'm envisioning putting a cozy chair in here with a Fender Bassman Tweed 410 amp. If you play guitar, you come in here. These walls over here, here when I pull this wall unit out of the way, and maybe here, I'm literally just going to I'm lining up instruments on the wall. So acoustics, electrics, all different kinds of instruments. It's kind of inspired by the one room at Lost Ark Studio where you open the door and it's like a Stanley Kubrick movie. There's just like this perfect balance of instruments just going down to like a perspective vanishing point, and it's absolutely amazing. And it's very cool. It also reminds me a little bit of the room that Eric and Steve have at Dirt Floor Studio in Connecticut, where you're in an old cabin, you walk into a room, and there's just guitars on the wall. A couple little, Fender Champs or Princetons and small little amps around. You come in, you pick an instrument. Maybe it's our Martin 12 string, or maybe it's, a Tele. And if you're looking for different sounds, there'll be tons of noisemakers in here. So that's what we're thinking for this room. This goes out to a solarium, which is heated, by the way. We're on the west side of the house. There's 5 furnaces. There's like 5 different zones in this thing. So this solarium faces west. Now I'm facing north. And this is pretty large. I believe Dr. Morand used to entertain out here a lot, and I think he had people bartend out here for him for his private parties, because this is actually a bar and bar storage that are movable, and he can move around the house for different parties. This is a giant outdoor deck. I'm not going to open it up, but there's the heater. There's a giant propane gas grill that's been converted to natural gas, and a sizable deck. And again, it's nighttime, so you're not going to see much, but come visit us. Okay, let's get back in here. Now, this is a closet. This room was the family room. We are calling it the Tiffany room. Um, there's a story behind that we can get to at some point, but we're basically here because of a dear friend named Tiffany, and because it's her fault that we're basically disassembling our space shuttle and moving it to a new location, we decided to name a room after her. So this was Dr. Moran's family room that goes out to a deck that you can see there's snow. Um, all right, I think we went down, but we're back. I think our stream is back. All right, so I'm not sure what got cut out, but this is the Tiffany room. It's pretty big, 16-foot high ceilings, windows facing south, facing west, out to the deck. And then along the wall here, there is a second guest bathroom with a shower stall. Yep, there's the shower. There's the shower. Okay, I think I'm back. I have to do this quickly because I think the Wi-Fi is dropping. We're back at the Tiffany room. Southern window. Bathroom here. Stall. A kitchen. Cool room with kind of a little lofty thing up there that we're not sure what we're going to do with. But the Tiffany room and the sort of stringed instrument room here, we're going to have tie lines in here. So if somebody wants to record just sitting in here casually, or out in a solarium, or outside on a deck when the weather's nice, or in this room, all this is going to be tie lined into the control room. So we're trying to keep as much living space as possible for ourselves and our guests. And some rooms we're just foreseeing as being mixed use sort of space. So we're trying to keep it casual, not uptight, just laid back, and come here, hang out, record, barbecues when the weather's nice, and, people can self-cater if they want. If they want us to handle catering for them, if they're going to be staying with us for extended periods of time, we can work all that stuff out. But again, new control room. We got a lot of work to do. I'm here starting to tape off outlets because I got to do some work, and I'm trying to keep the dust out. So I've got to tape up the air vents and things like that. I tried rolling up this carpet. This carpet is about 22 feet by 12 feet or 14 feet, something like that. And it is heavy. There's a pad under it. I can't believe how heavy this thing is. So I started to move it, and then I'm like, that's probably why I'm doing this video. I took a break. It's really heavy. So anyway, if you stuck around through the technical difficulties, thank you so much. This is Charles from Electric Works, broadcasting live from the new facility. If you are in the Buffalo area, give us a shout. Or if you anywhere, give us a shout. If you're in the Buffalo area, or just want to take a in-person tour, we've had a few folks through. You can see what it's like before we get started. And the next couple months, we are going to be super busy with bringing out, like I said, we're going to be like disassembling a space shuttle's worth of wiring and bringing it over here and getting it installed. So that's it for now. So again, thank you. It's Charles from Electric Works. I am out. Peace and love. Bye.